Thanks for tuning into the BoshNRoll channel. Liking and subscribing to the channel is free and easy, and it helps me out a lot. If you want to go a little farther with your support, I have Patreon and YouTube membership available, which includes access to the BoshNRoll Discord server, early access to things I'm working on, sideboard plans, cards I'm buying. You could have me play your deck on the channel, and the highest tiers come with individual coaching sessions. If you use the YouTube membership option, you get sweet, unique YouTube badges and emotes for the channel. If you want to play what I'm playing, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support my channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com. And if you're playing on Magic Online, a cardhoarder.com loan account can let you play any deck anytime. If you want to wear your support, there is BoshNRoll merch available. All of these links are in the video description below. Thank you so much for watching. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm doing something very special, very exciting. I have been challenged by subscriber Spunky to battle Doomsday expert Kai Sawatarix in a 5-match set. I play Bant all 5 games, he plays Doomsday all 5 games, and the winner of each match gets $100. So we are playing for $500 of Spunky's money today. Kai is, like I said, a Doomsday expert. This is the list that he will be playing. This is pretty standard Doomsday. Got 4 cyclers, 6 cyclers with the 4 Street Wraith, 2 Edge of Autumn, 1 LED, 1 Oracle. And the protection is 2 Thoughtseize, 4 Days, 4 Force, 1 Pact in the main. Out of the board, gets 3 more packs, 2 Duress, 2 Red Blast, Force Negation's not going to matter in this matchup, 1 Pyroblast, and can pivot onto Shelldock Isle. So this is Doomsday that is built to Doomsday. There's no transformation here. The list I'm playing, in interest of fairness, because when you know you're playing against a specific combo deck, you can load up pretty hard against it. In the interest of fairness, I pulled literally the first Bant Control deck that was available on MTG Goldfish. Just logged in, clicked the button, and whatever deck came up first was the one I played. This, I believe, was a 7-0 through the Swiss list in a recent Legacy Challenge. And I kind of lucked out because this deck is built definitely with Doomsday in mind. There are 2 Dress Down and 3 Endurance in the main, plus 4 Force of Will and 2 Force of Negation. My builds only play 1 or 0 Force of Negation most of the time, and then in the sideboard, there's a 3rd Dress Down and the 4th Endurance. Those are things that I don't usually do in my builds, so kind of lucked out here. But the things that are important in this matchup, Force of Will and Force of Negation to fight over the Doomsday are of course important. And then Dress Down can remove Thassa's Oracle's ability before it comes into play. Thus, they have committed their whole deck to a combo that doesn't work anymore. Endurance can put their graveyard on the bottom of their deck in response to Thassa's Oracle's trigger. So if they cycle 4 Street Wraiths, then cast Thassa's Oracle, I can put those 4 Street Wraiths back into their deck, and Thassa's Oracle will not win the game with its trigger, unless they have Devotion equal to 4, which I don't think their deck is actually capable of. So those are the important axes of interaction. Counterspells, Endurance, and Dress Down. I also have to clock them along the way. So Snapcaster Mage is pretty good at jumping into play. Ice Coatl's not a real clock. Endurance is a real clock. Uro threatens, and there's 1 Shark Typhoon in this deck, which is fewer than I usually play. The bad cards in this matchup are Prismatic Ending and Swords to Plowshares. These are just 8 cards with basically no targets. I guess if he goes for a Oracle for a not quite empty library, Swords to Plowshares could get it, but he's not going to make that mistake. Out of the sideboard, to replace these 8 dead cards in the main deck, Aethersworn Canonist is an important one. That's pretty important against any combo deck. If they play Thassa's Oracle, it means that they won't be able to respond when I respond to the Oracle. So it slows down development. Like if you duress me, you don't get to Doomsday this turn. Dark Ritual is just dead. So obviously, if this one Cannon is really important against combo decks. Terminus is a dead card that's not coming in. Hull Breacher, very important in the developmental stages of the game. Those cantrips to find the action, plus threatening the life total, all very important. Hull Breacher is going to be huge out of the sideboard. Back to Basics is a really interesting one because he does have the Shelldock Isle plan, which my deck otherwise doesn't interact with very well. I could play a Dress Down and remove Emrakul's protection from instants or protection from colored spells and then Swords to Plowshare it. or something. Like that is like a weird line that exists, but I probably will bring in Back to Basics just as a bullet to answer Shelduck Isle if I need to. Dress Down, of course, comes in. Blusterstorm helps win those fights over the Doomsday. The Fourth Endurance, of course, comes in. Veil of Summer comes in to fight their counter spells and discard spells, which are all of Doomsday's interactions are counter spells or discard spells. So if I can get a Veil off, I know I'm going to win the war. And I will probably bring in Null Rod as well, because it turns off Lion's Eye Diamond and Lotus Petal, which is their way to get fast mana off of a quick Doomsday. And then the Engineered Explosives doesn't really do anything, and I don't think I'm going to bring in Carpet of Flowers. Doomsday is a deck that can play off of swamps. I guess he has 0 basic swamps in the deck, so every land in the deck is an island. But I think based on card quality, I don't get to bring in Carpet of Flowers, so I'm talking about bringing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards for sure, and then the Back to Basics is a probably maybe. So like 8.5 cards I want to bring in. 4 Plow, 4 Ending come out, and I would probably cut an Abundant Harvest as the 9th cut if I want to bring in Back to Basics. Because I like Coatl because it's both blue and green to pitch to Endurance or a Force as necessary. Uro has all the same things going for it. And I think Abundant Harvest is the worst of the cantrips. Sylvan Library, if the game gets grindy, this thing, like my life total doesn't matter. They're going to kill me with their combo or they're not going to win. So Sylvan Library can't just go off in a matchup like this. I think I'll cut the 8 white cards and 1 Abundant Harvest to bring in these 9 cards. And then after that, what would I cut for Carpet of Flowers? And there's just nothing left that I want to remove from my deck. Even if Carpet is theoretically applicable to the matchup, I think it is worse than the cards I'd have to cut to bring it in. So that's going to be my board plan. If he shows me that he's playing some super grindy game plan where Carpet of Flowers can get my money's worth, maybe I'll reconsider once I see what's going on, but I really think that this is going to be the plan. These 9 in, those 9 out, and that's probably what I'm going to do for all 5 matches. This is going to be fun. It's going to be a battle of wits. If Doomsday resolves, there will always be a pile that beats something, but it will come down to, can he construct that pile? Does he have the read correct? Can I trick him into making the wrong pile? All of these things are going to come into play, and I'm pretty excited about it. Like, can I pick the right spots to interact before his pile gets to pay out? All of these things are on the table. I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to try this. There's going to be a little intro with me and Kai coming up, and then we're going to get into the games. Let's go get this bread. We're here for the first game, and unfortunately, due to some technical difficulties, I wasn't able to record our intro together. Kai is live streaming this, and his webcam couldn't live stream and stream to Discord where I could record our conversation, so we're going to skip that. But we had a nice little chat about how we think this matchup's going to go. If you want to watch that, check out his stream VODs. But we're on the draw for the first game here, and I'm going to keep this. He also started with 7. I have a Force of Will and 2 blue cards. That's a good place to start. He's got 2 Thought Seizes in the main for interaction. Let's see if he's got one of them. All right. We dodged the first bullet. Top that Preordain. Terrifying. Now I could Ponder, or I could play around Daze with my Force of Will. I think I'm going to play around Daze. Another Ponder. So he drew from the Preordain. He drew for his turn. These are 3 fresh cards off the Ponder. Did not shuffle that Ponder. Cracked a Polluted Delta right away. Personal Tutor. Alright. Doomsday is probably going on top of the deck here. There it is. Let's see what we can do about that. I didn't register my Thought Scours today, unfortunately. And I am going to use the Misty Rainforest. Like, I'm going to get a basic island to cast this Ponder with, and then use the Misty Rainforest to fetch. I don't want to play this basic island, because then I would be stuck on a basic land to fetch with Prismatic Vista, and that just doesn't matter in this matchup. My mana's going to be perfect. He doesn't have Wasteland, doesn't have Back to Basics. I should be fetching the things that cast the spells the best. Yeah, this is rough. The Thoughtseize will probably take Force of Will. I could let Thoughtseize resolve, or I could pitch the Jace. I'm gonna let Thoughtseize resolve, just show him what I'm working with. These game ones are rough anyway, because I don't have any 1-for-1 counter spells. Like the Flusterstorm, the Veil of Summer, that kind of stuff will be in next game. So presumably he's got a Dark Ritual or a Land Lotus Petal over there to get this Doomsday onto the stack. Yep. There's the Doomsday. Let's see if I get a turn. Now he knows that if he has Force of Will in his hand with a blue card, he's going to win, because there's no combination of things that I could draw to power through that. If he's got like Daze, I could brainstorm my way out of this. This is definitely just the case of Ponder didn't get there, and I was doing less manipulation than him. He has Preordained, Ponder, and Personal Tutor in the graveyard. I only have Ponder. So way more selection, being on the play, and just bricking on Ponder. Like if Ponder found a second force there, either of negation or will, then we're playing this game. Right now I'm looking for Dress Down or Endurance, and hoping to get another turn. Ooh, Lion's Eye Diamond's in play. Am I not even getting another turn? Oh yeah, we're dead. Okay, just had it. Edge of Autumn, and here's the Oracle with the empty deck. Had a Pact in hand, so yeah, he had that pretty rolled up. Would have beat the Force even without the Thoughtseize. Alright, that was pretty easy. As expected, the game one was harsh. I'm gonna do the 9-card sideboard plan that I described. Prismatic Ending and Swords to Plowshares are both exiting the deck. And I think Abundant Harvest is worse than Sylvan Library. Maybe when I'm on the draw, I'll switch to Abundant Harvest just for mana considerations. But on the play, I'm more interested in Library. And this looks like the play to me. Let's check out his deck. Pyroblast is all 3 Pyroblasts are coming in. That can importantly kill a Dress Down even if it resolves. Like, if he goes for Ideas Unbound, I respond with Dress Down resolves, draws 3, Pyroblast, Ideas Unbound, cast Oracle, then that works. That's really strong against Dress Down. Is this a match? So this Cavern comes in, Duress comes in, Merkle Pyroblast, so that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cards. What 8 cards do you cut? If that's the play. I'm not going to pretend I know how to play Doomsday. I'm just going to submit my deck. Here's my sideboarded deck. 8 is a lot of cards to cut from such a tight list, so he might not do all of those things. If I were really dialed in on this matchup, which I'm not, like I don't know what this side of the deck does, or side of the matchup does. Are you off Pact of Negation and in on count discard? Are you off discard and in on packs? It's unclear. I'm gonna go first. This one's pretty good. I'm gonna keep it. I have Endurance that can interact. Back to Basics checks the Shelldock plan, Null Rod turns off the fast mana. There's just a number of things that are likable in this hand right now. Unfortunately, if this hand gets duressed, he's going to see my whole plan laid out. I'm not going to get any cheese factor off the Back to Basics. Let's play my fetch land. That's probably going to have to be a basic because Back to Basics is part of my plan, and then I have to win the game somehow. Blue to Delta. Ponder, okay. Chose to shuffle. Love to see it. I'm gonna go for Library and hope I don't die on the spot. Basic Island, Sylvan Library. That is notably my only green card, but yeah, I think it's a must counter. Duress, okay. I have multiple good things here. Duress can't take Endurance, but I don't have a green card to go with it. Null Rod and Dress Down both affect the combo. Seeing Back to Basics sucks, because now he knows not to go for Shelldock. Maybe fetching the Basic Island was a mistake, because I'm not playing Back to Basics until he shows me the Shelldock, and now if I draw Ethersworn Canonist, I can't play it. Yeah, I think that should have been Tundra. Or probably Savannah, so I could get closer to casting Endurance. Yeah, I think mistakes were made there. That was a good draw. Doesn't know about that one. Null Rod's in. I'll slow him down a little. Brainstorm. Really hate seeing that. He has no basic lands in his list. There's 4 Underground Seas and a Volcanic Island. So back to basics plus Null Rod could actually just lock in the classic corny way. Representing Pyroblast here, though. Okay, now I have a green card and a blue card for my Force and my Endurance. It's got to beat 2 things here through a Null Rod. And now we're holding our pattern. Okay, white mana is cool. I could shove this Uro, but that takes me off 2 layers of protection. Does that matter? I'm gonna go. I like drawing cards. Uro triggers. Land into play. That's exciting. That land can be my second green to cast Endurance, hard mode. If he can combo with protection and not pass the turn right now, he's going to beat me. But if I untap, I'll have 2 things to do. It looks like we're getting another turn. Lucky. Okay, dope. I didn't want to spew off my Endurance just as a threat. And Shark Typhoon is exactly what I was looking for. I get to deploy a threat in the end step that isn't also my combo hate. Go ahead, Pyroblast it. I still get to draw a card. And if you Pyroblast this Shark, that's a Pyroblast you don't have for my Force. God, I love Shark Typhoon. Get a 2/2, draw a card. We're starting to roll up here. Never rule out Doomsday. I could still lose this game somehow. But I do have a lot of gas in the tank, as they say. Ponder is fine. Don't have a Hull Breacher for that. There are so few bad cards in this deck after sideboard. Like, boarding out 9 cards. And a lot of the main deck is good anyway. Like, we got action here. Thoughtseize. Storm is 2. So if I fluster this, doesn't have the mana to pay for it. Yeah, let's just say no to drugs here. It could Dark Ritual to pay for Thoughtseize, but that's a Dark Ritual gone. I'm pretty okay with. As funny as I think it is if this Thoughtseize resolves, it's just like banger, 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 banger. Still prefer to hide that information. Let them think I'm not just rolled up on bangers. If anyone can figure out how to navigate this, Kai is certainly among them. Alright, the Thoughtseize is countered. Get it out. The terrifying thing about Doomsday is that a 6-card hand could be anything, like any amount of interaction. Okay, there's the Dark Ritual. I think I let Doomsday resolve. We can see this Pyroblast coming from a mile away. So I'm going to let Doomsday resolve. And then I have Endurance. I don't have Endurance and Dress Down. If I draw a green card, I have both, or a land, I have both. But I have Force of Negation and Endurance or Dress Down. I could Endurance in the end step, and then untap and cast back to basics. That's interesting. Though if he dazes me, that hurts. But the Endurance puts him on a 2-turn clock instead of 3. Puts him to 1. No fetch land, no Street Wraith. Yeah, oh, but if I cast the back to basics, then I don't have Dress Down anymore. But if I don't cast Endurance, then I don't have Dress Down anyway. This is going to be hard. I think a tiebreaker in my decision making is going to be that he's already seen the Endurance. He has not seen the Force of Negation or the Dress Down. He's seen Endurance and back to basics. So if he's making a pile that can beat Endurance, maybe I should jam it to pressure, put him on that 1-turn clock, now or never, and then if I draw a land, I can back to basics and Dress Down. Like, I'm just sort of mana pinched a little hard right here anyway. Yeah, I think I want to end step Endurance. Yeah, that sounds good. Oh, here's Endurance. Yeah, Daze, that's fine. Not going to counter that. Daze was going to get me either way here. Ice Fang Coatl. That's not great. Now I can back to basics and hope that sticks, or I can hide behind this Dress Down. And this attack is definitely happening either way. So how many things do I think that you have? And I guess just Red Blast the back to basics. Do I Dress Down in the upkeep is the question, I guess. Or do I let him start drawing cards? There's Underground Sea, and then all these mystery cards in hand. Alright, can draw your card, I guess. There's only one red source in the deck. Okay, did go Shelldock. Interesting. That doesn't mean he didn't also go Oracle, it just means that Shelldock is in the game right now. I can race Emrakul with my current configuration. So blue-green, here's Coatl. There could also just be Oracle under the Shelldock. It doesn't have to be Emrakul. Okay, that land is excellent. Hull Breacher, also pretty exciting. Breacher to 1. I guess the that Red Blast that I've been playing around the whole game already answers back to basics in a way that is meaningful. But if you answer back to basics, then you didn't answer Dress Down. And Dress Down can turn off Annihilator. Do I just pass, or do I Dress Down? Seeing the back to basics, we know. So if I cast back to basics, I can Dress Down, but I can't Hull Breach. I don't need to Hull Breach. Alright. Here's back to basics. Okay, that resolved. Just kill it in the end step, I imagine. Yep. That is removed. So here comes Emrakul. Get an extra turn after this one. Emrakul resolves. There are Daze or Thoughtseize in my near future. Gonna fetch, probably get Tundra. If I let him untap, Hardcast Force of Will is on. I should Dress Down in the end step here, because that turns off Pact of Negation. I guess it doesn't turn it off because you could still pay for the Pact. Yeah, if he made the perfect pile, which I give him credit that he probably did, he can actually just beat everything here. Here's the Pyroblast. Here's my Force. Is there one more thing in that hand that I can't beat? Okay, here's Dress Down. Draw a card. Your turn. Is there a third Pyroblast in this pile? Or the Oracle? That would also get me. Oh no, the Dress Down is in play. Oracle doesn't get me. It didn't attack for 15. Okay. I'm getting another turn. So I have a 2/2 and a Death Touch creature. I'm gonna attack. Let's see if there's another Pyroblast in this hand. Nope, dead for Xaxes. Beautiful. Turns out the 5th answer was enough. Wow, Doomsday is good. Alright, game 3, here we go. Gotta get one on the draw here. I think Harvest on the play, Library on the draw is... or the opposite thing. Harvest on the draw, Library on the play is making some sense to me. Do I want any amount of Terminus or Swords to Plowshares for the Emrakul? Like, Dress Down can buy time against Emrakul, but removing it could matter if I wasn't already clocking him. And I think the answer is no. I'm just thinking out loud. I actually already know the answer is no. I'm just thinking out loud in the interest of completeness. I'm going back in. That one change. Oh, I'm such a scrub. I forgot to look at his Exile pile when cast Doomsday in the post-board game. That would have given me a lot of information to work off. Whoops. I don't even want that $100. Just put it in the trash. I'm going to keep this hand. It has 2 free pieces of interaction and all the cards to pitch for them. It needs a little help to get there, but this is the type of hand that doesn't die right away and does give you time to develop. Plus being on the draw is worth a lot here. Ponder to kick it off. There are only 4 discard spells in this deck, which means that you don't necessarily want to fire one off on turn 1 when there's going to be a lot more game to play. You want to save it for when you're representing a combo situation. I'm going to get Tundra here because I already have a green source. Double green's going to matter eventually. Ooh. Ooh. I like this. I'm going to put Force of Will in my hand to make sure I have 2 pieces of interaction up even through a discard spell. And then I'm going to draw Feathersworn Canonist and curve it into Hull Breacher. That sounds pretty good. Do not shuffle this library. Let's go. This Endurance is a long way away from being hard cast, but I don't think that's going to be the angle most of the time anyway. Though that end step Endurance last game that he spent the days on would have been the difference if I had waited and tried to just completely react to him. Just being proactive in that one spot, getting that one extra counter out of the hand, all of that ended up mattering. And as always, there was a pile that beat me. He just didn't make it. But it's terrifying to know that if you just have 1000 IQ, can see the future, then you can just make plays like that. This hand, importantly, does not beat MTG, like, at all. I don't have a dress down, don't have a back to basics. I'm going to let this Doomsday go on the stack and then fight over it. Force of Negation, exile Uro. Daze. So Daze counters Force of Negation, or do I want to force Daze? Like, Force of Negation exiling Doomsday, how important is that? I think I actually want more cards in their graveyard for Endurance. Okay, so the Daze counters Force. And then I force pitching Hull Breacher, regrettably, because I think I need the Uro to pitch for Endurance. Okay, we resolved that. I think if you had a Daze, you would have cast it. Canonist, bang. Okay, Canonist in play. Drawing my third land. Pitch Endurance, rolled up in hand here. That's your spell for the turn. Canonist functionally attacks for 3 because of Doomsday. Every 2 points of damage I put on him is 1 more point he takes when he loses half his life later. That's clever. Sneaking some cantrips in while you can. Did shuffle that Ponder, by the way. Can I lose in one shot? Like, is it free for me to fire in this Uro right now? Or is that a huge spew? Okay, I'm going to go for the Uro. I don't think I can lose all in one turn, and developing my options here is pretty important. This is where I lose all in one turn. Can his list remove a Canonist? Okay, he played Brainstorm, that means we're getting another turn. So there is not a single spell that can remove Canonist. It's going to have to win through it. Notably, Oracle is a creature, though. Like, if there is somehow, like, a spell you can cast that then results in an empty library where your creature spell, or no, it's artifact spell, not creature spell. So there are Lotus Petal things that can be done here. I'm going to Ponder in case off of Tundra, in case I find a green land. Then I'm representing Endurance. Okay, cool. I'm representing Endurance either way here. Alright, I'm going to draw the Misty Rainforest. And then I'm going to draw the second Endurance. And then I'm going to draw... And then I'm going to cast the first Endurance and still have the second. I think. Does that make sense? Or do I just fetch and start beating down? Brainstorm is your spell for the turn. Yeah, I think I should be patient. Though the Emrakul is scary in this position. Though also knowing I have a second Endurance, waiting underneath the first one lets me beat down quick. So I put him to 11, then 5, then 5. Or yeah, so this second Endurance is actually an additional piece of pressure. It's a turn off the clock. I'm not going to escape Uro because he could Pyroblast it, and right now I can win the game without casting a blue spell. So I'm going to try to do that. Ideas Unbound. Okay, that's your spell for the turn. I'm actually going to target myself with this Endurance because I don't care if my Uro goes away, because that's not my plan anyway. And I would like to shuffle these forces back into my deck. I guess I'll let him do his Ideas Unbound discard, and then I'll make a decision about who I'm going to hit with Endurance. The value Ideas Unbound is scary, though. That's powerful stuff. Might just discard Emrakul and shuffle the graveyard away anyway. Yeah, this attack for 5 will put him to 6, and then Doomsday leaves him dead on board. And even... yeah, casting Doomsday leaves him dead on board, and the second Endurance leaves him dead on board. So I have a 2-turn clock here, but he doesn't know that yet. He sees a 6-turn clock in play, but it's actually 2. Just have to make sure I don't click through the end step after this discard. I haven't mentioned it yet, but the Karakas also answers Emrakul. This looks pretty close. to a checkmate. Like being unable to answer Canonist, being on a 2-turn clock where you can't cast 2-turn spells in a turn, and you also can't Emrakul. Right, here's Endurance. I'm going to target myself. Could also just target nobody. Yeah, I'm just going to target nobody. My graveyard's fine where it is. I do play Snapcaster Mage, but I haven't Canonist in place, so that doesn't matter. LOL. There it is. Here's 5. You're at 6. Dead on board. Cavern of Souls is on the stack, or in play. It doesn't go on the stack. Oh, we're casting Street Wraiths. That's the phase of the game we're in. Okay, there is one answer to an There's one Canonist in the deck. Resolves. Can't be countered. You got me. Alright, maybe it is time to cast Uro. I didn't think the game was going to come to it, but here we are. Glad I didn't bomb my graveyard. I'm going to target nobody again. And then I think I attack with the 2 Endurances. Yeah, or no, it's a free attack. I could put him to 1, because if he blocks, Canonist just dies. Yeah, put you to 1. Limited math. Limited combat math in the Bant versus Doomsday matchup. Alrighty, packed up match number 1, $100 in the bank. Let's keep it going. We're about halfway through the video, so let me just remind you that if you like this deck and you want to try it out, you can use the code BoshNRoll to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com, and you can play any deck anytime with cardhoarder.com loan account on Magic Online. These links are in the video description below. Now back to the league. I'm on the draw again for the second round. I'm going to keep. I have the Endurance and a Cantrip. It's the most you can hope for in a game 1 hand. Had one of the 2 Thoughtseizes. Alright, that's fine. If he takes Endurance, I get to Ponder and change the texture of my hand. If he takes Ponder, has to navigate Endurance. So let's do this thing. Took the Ponder, that's smart. It is generally a good idea in combo. If you see like a hate piece or a counterspell, like a Force of Will, which functionally Endurance is Force of Will in this matchup. If you see Force of Will and Brainstorm, you usually want to take the Brainstorm so you can at least operate with reasonably accurate information. Okay, here we go. There it is. I'm gonna need to draw what? Like, is there even a draw here? Like, if he has the Endurance covered with a card in hand, then I just lose. I guess Brainstorm. Yeah, Brainstorm can fix everything. I need to draw Brainstorm and turn 2 of these lands into Force Blue card. That's the play. The Cavern of Souls is in the sideboard. Yeah, that's not something I gotta worry about there. There's Pact of Negation in the main deck, though. There's 1. Okay, Doomsday resolves. See what we got. Come on, Brainstorm. Right off the top. Change this hand. That was not it. Not what I wanted. Okay, ship it back. We've probably lost this one. There might be a world where he tries to cheese a little, like, 0 card or 1 card deck instead of 0 card deck, but I don't think that's likely. I guess if I spend the Endurance early, like right now, that puts 2 cards on the bottom of the deck, which might mess up the Oracle count. Alright, I'm gonna let that resolve. This is the thing, like, pick the spot. Like, there's probably a spot here where I could respond and do something, but it is not currently available. Alright, I'm gonna evoke Endurance right now. Change the number of cards in this deck at the very least before he just has his entire pile in hand. Because if this Brainstorm resolves, there's just the whole deck in hand. Okay. Put those cards back in your deck. Hopefully that changes the ability to win this turn. Even trying to go for it with 1 card left in the deck messes up. Swords to Plowshares can actually mess that up. And if he ends up having to pass the turn, that's another chance to find Brainstorm and just make this thing happen. Or Dress Down. Dress Down and Plow would be interesting. Like, challenge the Oracle with the Dress Down and then also be able to remove it if there's a card left in the deck. Fetch land, okay. Looks like we're getting another turn. Time to draw Brainstorm or Dress Down. I prefer Brainstorm, honestly. Though Dress Down is obviously dope. Brainstorm is the thing that would just have me high-fiving all my friends. Acefang Coatl. Alright, he doesn't know about Tropical Island, does know about basic Snow Island. Alright, the next turn is here. There's 2 cards in the deck that the pile did not account for. Thoughtseize me, huh? Alright. I think that has to resolve. Go ahead. One of us is dead. With the Quaddle, yep. That's the redraw. That changes the conversation. Oracle resolves. There's got to be a pact in hand. I'm gonna do what I can here, though. I tried, folks. Yep, there's the pact. Yep, we're dead. Is what it is. Tough match for Doomsday. If this Coatl was something more potent, but that Swords of Plowshares was never destined to be great for the matchup, and it's coming right out to be a good card instead. I wonder what the level system is on Back to Basics. Like, it could just not do the Shelldock thing, knowing that I have Back to Basics in, and try to brick me. So I think that the Shelldock thing is powerful enough against what I'm doing that you want to do that, even if you know I have this soft answer to it. And more importantly, his deck having 0 basics just incentivizes me to have Back to Basics in anyway. Like, if we play a long game and I can catch him with the pants down, then that's just a good deal. Now that I'm looking at this, it's possible Jace is a better cut than Abundant Harvest. Jace is a blue card, but I have almost as many pitch green cards as I have pitch blue cards, and Abundant Harvest is more likely to actually play in the game than Jace is. Alright, yeah, I'm going to make that adjustment. The strategy evolves as the games go on. On the play, with Force that I can cast, Endurance that I can't, and no cantrips, no control. Nah, this is a mulligan. The deck's good enough post-board that you should be chasing bangers, like this one. I'm going to keep this hand, and do I want to keep Double Force, or do I want to ship the Uro? I think I ship the Uro. Yeah, I have to keep the Brainstorm in the lands. I think it's reasonable to ship one of the 3 forces. I'm representing Veil of Summer here, in case he wants to fire off a discard spell. Just make him think about it. Cycled Wraith. And pass the turn with Underground Sea. Deal. Okay, I'm gonna pass, and now I can Brainstorm playing around Daze. Brainstorm could find Flusterstorm or Veil of Summer if necessary. I'm just gonna zap off this Brainstorm in the end step. This Forest is probably something I don't want. I'm looking for Shark Typhoon, Coatl, Endurance, anything that could challenge what he's doing. Though maybe I just don't Brainstorm. Maybe I keep it, because if I hit my land drop, then I'm representing Hardcast Force of Negation plus Pitch Force. But if that's my curve, am I ever casting this Brainstorm after that? Do I want Basic Forest at all? I guess I don't have to shuffle it if I do want it. I think Brainstorm to find a threat is worth considering here. It's also possible the Brainstorm just gets red blasted, but that means one of my forces won't be. Yeah, I'm going for this Brainstorm. This is my first Brainstorm of the set, by the way. I don't think I've cast this card once. Okay, so I am going to shuffle away those lands, don't need those. I'm going to get Tundra. Snapcaster Mage. I can snap Brainstorm in the next end step, or Force of Negation with double Force of Will backup, if necessary otherwise. Lotus Petal, powerful stuff. This could just be fetch, fetch, Doomsday with Red Blast backup. Fetch, fetch. Is that the play? That is Doomsday. Guess I'll give him the opportunity to... Do I want to give him the opportunity to Daze first? Does Savannah matter? No, I think I just want Trop for max blue sources, max green sources. I already have 1 white, and there's no double white cards. There's lots of double green cards. And there's lots of double blue as well. Okay. Force of Negation. Daze. Okay. Daze plays here. Not going to pay 1 there. Still representing that Red Blast. Not a fan of. Force pitching Force. I'd really like to have this Snapcaster coming into my next turn, but if I have to go Hellbent to stop this, I will. Yeah, there's the Red Blast. Daze was going to get me this turn eventually. Oh, there's 4 forces. Hard cast 1, pitch 1 to alt cast another, then alt cast it a third. Just had 4 forces beat. Fair enough. Time to draw, but that did empty the buckets. Like, opponent has 2 cards in hand. One of them is Underground Sea that he picked up with Daze. So if I can draw or cantrip into Dress Down, Ethersworn Canonist, Endurance. I can't cantrip into Endurance. I need to draw that one straight up, but almost every non-land in my deck is a hit. Gonna remember to look at the sideboard plan this time. Okay, all the Rebs are exiled. There is no Oracle. I get this presentable. Take my draw for the turn, see if it even matters. Alright, I did draw Endurance, which probably doesn't matter. Oh, they exiled Sheldock Island, did not exile. Okay. Is going for an Oracle. Endurance was a really good draw, but, I mean, gets to do what he wants to get it set up. Ponder. Yeah, I'm just afraid to pull the trigger this quickly. There will be a point where I jam Endurance. Is it now? I think it's now. Alright, nice top deck. Had the Pact. Okay, I'm dead. Yeah, I don't know if the Pact was in hand. Like, one of those had to be in hand already. But, okay, yeah, had the Pact, you got me. Okay. $100 in his bucket now. We're tied up. Round 3's coming. Sure. Okay. Didn't have to respond to Thoughtseize. Like, one of the ways this hand can collapse very quickly is, like, turn 1 Thoughtseize, I brainstorm in response, Daze Brainstorm, take Force of Will with Thoughtseize. This hand would just become hot garbage immediately, if that was the case. But now I'm up ahead of Daze. I can brainstorm and still force and be ahead of Daze on all of it. And get rid of this Prismatic Ending. I am going to play Flooded Strand, not Prismatic Vista, because I just want perfect mana where I can get it. Did not shuffle the Ponder. Sure. Force of Negation, love to see it. I'm going to pass the turn with mana up because of Daze. Like, brainstorming into Harvest or Ponder there is pretty cool, but I don't think that's where I want to be. Another Ponder. I could brainstorm in response to that. I think I'm going to let it ride, though. I would like to brainstorm in response to a Thoughtseize. If I'm going to... I'm either going to brainstorm in the end step or in response to a Thoughtseize. Those are my plays here. Also, if I brainstorm now and he doesn't have a land drop, he could Daze it to hit his land drop. This is not something I want to enable. But that would be a giant waste of a Daze, because I could just pay. It probably wouldn't make that play even if he had it. Notably, I'm also untapping into Hardcast Force of Negation plus Pitchcast Force of Will. Plus whatever Brainstorm develops. LED, just in play. Terrifying. I'm going to Brainstorm in the end step. Cash in this Prismatic Ending. That's not a card that I want. And Prismatic Vista is not really a card I want either. Though I could draw it. Like, I have Force plus Force. I have Hardcast Force, Pitchcast Force, or Endurance here. I think I should just shuffle this away, looking for spells. Yeah, I'm gonna get Tropical Island here. Dope. Alright. I'm pretty well set up right now. I'm gonna make a 1/1 Shark. I'm not holding on to that for anything. And I'm gonna fetch Savannah with this Flooded Strand to make sure all my colors are under control. Do I just let this resolve? I have so many points of interaction here. Yeah, go ahead, take a look. Took my Force of Will with the Thoughtseize. Interesting that he took the one I can't hardcast and left me with the one that I can. Unless he's trying to bait me into hardcasting it so he can Daze. In which case I would... Do I want to pitch cast? Like, chuck the Ponder, pitch cast? Or I would chuck... No, I can't chuck Uro because I want that for an Endurance. Yeah, I think I just fade the Daze by alt casting Force of Negation. Yeah, he's trying to trick me into playing into Daze here. That's what's happening. And I am going to pitch the Ponder so I can continue to play around Daze for this entire sequence. The LED being in play already means that any cycler, any of the 6 cyclers in the deck, make the Doomsday auto-lethal. Oh, did have Force of Will. Pitching Daze told ya. Alright, Doomsday's gonna resolve. But I do have Endurance hanging out here. So he gets to make a Doomsday pile that makes Endurance a lot worse. Just you get to grab the Pact and set up. Okay, Doomsday has resolved. With 2 cards in hand and 5 cards in the deck, I could theoretically figure out what the 7 cards are. It sucks that the exile pile doesn't get organized alphabetically. The Ideas Unbound is not in the pile, so that's not part of the plan. How many Wraiths do we have here? 2 Edges, 2 Wraiths. So there are 2 Wraiths in the pile. The Pact is in the pile. Is there a Daze? 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, the Dazes are all accounted for. Force of Will. 1, 2, 3. There is a Force of Will in the pile. Okay, so Pact and Force back up. And it seems like it's a multi-turn line. Or draw a card, Wraith, cast the thing. Alright, Magic Online just warned me I'm going to time out due to inactivity. Okay, if you say so, Magic Online. I'm going to cycle my Shark in the end step, and I'm going to do it off of Savannah, so I have green available. What I really want to find here is Force blue card off the Shark plus draw step. Or just Dress Down would be pretty great too. Jace, there's a blue card. Force. Hey. Okay. And we know his pile has Force and Pact in it, or that he's just already holding Pact. One or the other. I think I have to Endurance in the end step, if he just does nothing, to just put him on a 2-turn clock. And that would slow down the Oracle enough to get through, I think. Is that even true? Okay, so Wraith, draw step, 3 cards left. Wraith, 1 card left. Doomsday on the bottom, 2 cards left. Yeah, that's not even actually true. Okay, I'm just going to take a draw. Brainstorm is big. Maybe. I can pitch cast Endurance and pitch cast Forced, and then also Brainstorm and maybe find a Dress Down. Because I don't have to win this game, I just have to not lose it. Are all 3 other Doomsdays exiled? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, all of the Doomsdays are accounted for. So it's not a pile that'll set up a second Doomsday. I think I Brainstorm in the end step here and try to get something going. So another Endurance, another Force. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So I think I leave Jace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Jace is the card that I end up leaving in the deck here. So I draw for turn, and I have pitch, Force, pitch, Endurance, pitch, Endurance. Has to beat 3 things. And the Dazes are all accounted for, so I can hardcast at least one of them. Blooded Strand, okay. Interesting. Was that in the hand the whole time, or is a land part of this pile? Okay, Wraith. Fetch. Okay, the deck's empty. Lion's Eye Diamond's not going to do anything. Okay. Time to figure this one out. Just going to verify one more time that all the Dazes are gone. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the Dazes are gone. I gotta beat 2 counterspells here. I think I want to start by forcing the Oracle. Force pitching Uro. Does that matter? I can hardcast one of these things, so I've just committed to hardcasting one of the Endurances. There's the Pact. I'm gonna let Pact... Or I guess I can't really let Pact resolve. Or yeah. I will let... No, I want a Force of Negation the Pact. No, I want to let Pact resolve. And then I'll cast Endurance. And then I'll pitch Endurance to Uro to get the other one. And gonna Force pitching Force. Or Force pitching blue card on this Endurance. I think that's the game we've played. Yeah, so Force pitching Brainstorm. And then Oracle comes in. And then evoke the other Endurance. There it is. 3 answers was enough. And he's got to pay for a Pact on his next upkeep, which he actually can because of LED. But I think it's too late. Okay. You do not have Devotion 5. This the Oracle gets resolved, but that doesn't matter. Alright, cool. We took a game 1. I'm gonna do the modified plan with cutting a Jace instead of one of the cantrips. Even on the draw, Sylvan Library I think is still better than Jace. Endurance, Veil, Breacher, Breacher, Press Down, Flusterstorm, Null Rod, Canonist. Then white cards out. White cards and Jace get the cut. That's 60 cards. Let go. Okay, gotta win one of 2 sideboard games, which are the ones where I think that I'm favored in. I mean, my deck gets a lot better for the matchup post-board than his does, though I think he's medium to kind of far ahead anyway. But definitely taking game 1 is a huge relief. This hand's a little awkward, but I will keep it on the draw. Having 2 pieces of interaction is big, but I am going to need a green source like ASAP. The blue to Delta start, as usual. How many of those do you play? Let me see that deck list. Preordain, you got it. Top, Preordain, terrifying. Thank you, deck. Green source arrived, no questions asked. Coatl's online. Coatl can cantrip up into Hull Breacher. If I have to pitch something to force a negation, it's going to be Uro. I really want this Hull Breacher. Like we saw in round number 1, the deck, nope, this is a red creature. I lied. I was about to say his deck can't answer a creature. That's kind of true. Can answer a blue permanent, though. I guess I could have played the Misty last turn to represent Veil, and I just chose not to do that. Maybe that doesn't matter. I don't know. I did just find the 3rd land for Breacher, though. Dark Ritual resolves. Doomsday. Flusterstorm. God, I love Flusterstorm. Could Dark Ritual to pay for it. Getting that 2 for 1 by having the Dark Ritual into it, Flusterstorm 2 for 1. Like, oh, feels good. Cycling Wraith in response. And then put that spell in the graveyard. Hell yeah. Okay. That's good news. If you're on my team. It's bad news if you like Kai. We still have a lot of game to play. It's just, I survived the first volley in a pretty clean card advantageous way. Fetching the Valk. Okay. Going for a Preordain. Starting the rebuild. Fetching Valk takes him off a hardcast Doomsday for a while. I mean, they all get hardcast, I guess, but like a natural Doomsday, like Dark Ritual is going to have to be involved in it if it happens. This, I think, is an opportunity to get Sylvan Library into play. Much more interested in that than Icefang Coatl as far as closing the door on this game goes. Grab a Trop and Library. There we go. Bottom that Preordain, by the way. So we are in dig mode. I bet there is a Red Blast in that hand, though. The way he went for that Doomsday. I think we're going to have to beat a Red Blast. Which, Hull Breacher plus Force of Negation is the double whammy on that. Let's go. Yes, I would like to draw extra cards. I'm going to put 1 on top and keep 1 other. Oh, I guess I didn't need to keep that. I have another fetch land right here. Okay, that was loosey-goosey. Fast and loose, baby, that's how I play. Alright, pass the turn here. Now I have pitch, Force of Negation, pitch Endurance, and also hardcast Hull Breacher. It's all pretty good. It's like we're fetching a black source here. Doomsday. Okay, I can Force of Negation that, which is going to get Red Blasted, but that's a Red Blast that is out of the way. Yeah, I'm gonna Force of Negation that, pitching Icefang Coatl, and then sneak the Hull Breacher in after the Doomsday resolves. Then I'll have Hull Breacher plus Endurance to party with. Okay, that happens. I mean, that line does not beat Emrakul, but I am showing that I have non-counterspell interaction, which I'm not sure if that incentivizes Oracle or Emrakul. Am I telegraphing Dress Down right now? And if so, which of those plays is better? I don't know. He's going to 7 when Doomsday resolves. I flash in Hull Breacher, put you to 4. Get a fresh 3 cards off Sylvan Library. Unfortunately, my library activation did put me under 15, so an Emrakul connection is GG. I can't, like, tempo out Emrakul, which is a thing that you can do sometimes. Endurance has reach, though, so maybe I can tempo out Emrakul. Let's find out together. Doomsday has resolved. There is a Red Blast in the pile or the hand. That's good to know. Force of Wills, we got 1, 2, 3... 3 Force of Wills, no Ideas Unbound in the pile, no Shelldock Isle in the pile, and no Oracle in the pile. So it looks like he's doing a Shelldock plus Oracle plus Red Blast kind of setup here. How many Cyclers are exiled? We have Wraith. I bet the other Cycler, the Edge of Autumn, was boarded out. I think I just want to get Tundra here. Maybe that was wrong and foolish. I'm willing to believe that. Alright, Sylvan Library, light me up here. Help me out. Let's do this thing. Burrow is a blue and green card. I think I'm just going to keep them all. Just keeping them all pays out the Brainstorm the best, pays out the Ponder the best. Let's Brainstorm. Okay, put back these 2 lands because I can shuffle them away. I'm going to attack for 3, might as well do that. Put them to 4, and then there are 2 lands on top of my deck. I could save my fetch lands and just bottom, but then, alright, I'm going to get my basic forest. Or no, I'm going to get a basic island and cast Ponder. I think Ponder is better than Abundant Harvest here. Let's find a second force, or yeah, a force. Oh, is Canonist better? This is close. Though I think it is almost certainly just Canonist. That messes up so many things. Yeah, okay. Talk myself into it. Okay, put you dead on board. And can't cast 2 spells and can't draw cards. Casting Force of Will leaves them dead on board to the Hull Breacher, and the Shelldock Isle takes a turn to get online. And I don't know, I think we would have forced Hull Breacher if we had it, though maybe not. There is a Force of Will somewhere in these 8 cards. There's only 3 in exile. I also wonder how many packs are in this deck right now, because I see 0 in exile, and there are 4 in the 75. I don't think that's a card you just put like 3 of in your Doomsday pile, though. I believe I win if they counter this, or if this Canonist resolves, I believe I win, just full stop. If it gets Force of Willed and they're at 3, I'm not sure what happens from there. They still have to win the game next turn without drawing any cards. Okay, they had a Daze, I'll pay. Glad I didn't get greedy on my cantrips. Alright, Canonist is in. Alright, I don't know what this looks like from here. Fetch land, alright, yeah. Okay, yeah, that takes lethal off the board at least. Okay. Oh, okay, I see how this works. Alright, I might actually be in trouble after all. I need what, a back to basics? Yeah, I think I need back to basics here. Ouch. Or I can cast Endurance to block. Yeah, that's a thing I can do. Just find back to basics and make it easy though. Alright, I can't keep any of these, so top, put you to 2, and then I think I cast Endurance now, so I can dress down on their turn. Does that matter? No, that doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna pass. So they cast Emrakul, I cast Endurance. Or if they cast Oracle, I dress down. Or I probably shouldn't dress down. Okay. So here's Emrakul. And then I cast Endurance on their end step. Or I could dress down in their end step, but that turns off Canonist. But it also turns off all their shit. Yeah, dress down turning off Canonist is going to get me one way or the other, I think. Endurance. No, I think the dress down is the one that I need. No, I need them both. Alright. This just sucks. Okay. Endurance has been cast. They can't counter it because I've already cast a spell this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I just sack all my lands if Emrakul attacks. Yeah, I don't need to act. Oh, but they can cast Oracle to block my 2/2. Yeah, so I actually do need to dress down before attacks. Ugh, this is tight. Yeah, Oracle just has a 1/3 blocker. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Might win this game if the Oracle is in the hand. Alright, so beginning of combat. Here's my dress down. This is all I got. Yeah, it doesn't matter if I turn off Oracle if I also turn off, or if I turn off Canonist if I also turn off Oracle. Yeah, not getting annihilated matters a lot here. Oh wait, no, because if they fight over the dress down, then they can't cast the Oracle. So I think I have this one. Yeah, dress down resolves. Okay, now I'm not getting annihilated. Oh wait, no, I don't have this one because I block, then they play the 1/3 anyway. Yeah, shit. Alright. No, they just had me here. Bummer. Yeah, just play 1/3 blocker. Naturally, it's in the hand. Alright, Sylvan Library's got to do something here. Like, find Caracas. That's what I need to do. Caracas? Oh, back to basics. Thanks for showing up. So I can play another Endurance and block for a turn. So if I go put on top. Oh shit, I can't even harvest for a land because I only have the 2 green sources. Guess I can ponder looking for Caracas and still cast Endurance. But we know they have Force of Will over there somewhere. Oh, this sucks. Alright. Alright. Ponder, find me Caracas, let's go. Let's do the thing. Caracas ends the game, for sure. And all Endurance does is buys me a turn to try to find Caracas again. It's like not the most exciting thing. Do I win this game if I had cast Endurance instead of Hull Breacher 3 turns ago? I don't think no, I didn't know that I had Canonist yet at that point. Okay. Oh, they cast Pact. Alright, they do have 5 mana. And Force of Will is the card in their hand. Because they started to pitch to Force and then decided to Pact instead. Okay, so I'm going to let this resolve. And then I'm going to Endurance now before they draw a card. Can I tread water until they deck? And if they don't deck, does Active Negation matter? Like, do I bottom them or do I just like nothing? Okay, I think nothing is the play. Because the Oracle's already been cast. There's no trick there. And Oracle's gonna get to attack. I have to annihilate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Oracle can attack too, once it gets that cheeky point in. Alright, not interested. What permanents am I sacking? Definitely Canonist. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Abundant Harvest will see 1 new card, and Library will also see 1 new card. And my only out in this game, but I end up dying to Oracle Beatdown anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Annihilator 6 happens. I'm gonna get rid of Canonist. Yeah, I think getting rid of Library is the play. Okay. Block. Now I can Abundant Harvest, but I think nope, they don't have Force of Will. Alright, Abundant Harvest, name land, hit Caracas is the line here. Ooh, Brainstorm sees more cards than Abundant Harvest. But Abundant Harvest definitely hits a land. But what if my top card is like the spell I know about, then land Caracas? What if it's just spell? I think Brainstorm is the play. Okay. Let's go Brainstorm. Caracas? Aw, alright, we're dead. Rough. Felt like I had that one. Made a really smart pile, played it really smart. 1-3, just Augur of Bolas over there. Won that game. I do wonder if I'm supposed to cast Endurance the turn that I cast Hull Breacher, though, because we knew that there was a Red Blast in the pile. But we also knew Oracle was in the pile, so yeah, that's tricky. Well played. Alright, I'm going back in. Same deck. I don't think it gets better. I think that like just this plan is this plan at this point. The Carpet of Flowers could be a consideration, but he's still going to go fast if he can. And the non-carpet cards are what slow the matchup down on the play, and I'm going to keep this hand with protection from discard into Canonist. Representing the Veil and actually having the Veil is like the best feeling. I don't think I jam Canonist on 2. I think I wait until I can play around Daze or protect it with Veil. And the sooner the better, but at the same time, like, okay. Ooh, that's awkward. That's 2. Oh no, it's not that awkward. It's fine. I can Veil and Fluster if I have to do both. Street Wraith Cycle. I only have 1 blue source though, which I think is ultimately okay. Duress. Boom. That feels so fucked up every time it happens. Cool, that's worth a Force of Will to you, is it? Force Pitching Pact. Okay. I am going to Flusterstorm all of these spells. I'm going to put 2 on Force and 2 on Duress. Or I should put 3 on Force and 1 on Duress, I think. Or is it the other way? Doesn't matter. I'll put a middle one on Duress. Yeah, this plays around Daze as well. So I have 2 on Force, 2 on Duress. That way, if they can't just like let Force resolve and then Daze the Veil and still Duress me. They forced Pitching Pact, right? I did say that. It was a strong start from both of us. Yeah, at this point, if he has Daze, all it does is keep me from drawing a card. That's pretty cool. Though stacking it this way, it could end up pay for 1 Flusterstorm, Daze the other, Force of Will resolves, counter your Veil. At least I don't draw a card. Still don't get to Duress me, but that is a way to take me off a card. But if that is what happens, this Veil and Flusterstorm, 2 cards out of me, will get the Duress, the Force, the Pitch card, the Daze, and set them back a land drop, which is an exchange I'm extremely comfortable with. Force of Will is countered. Duress is countered. Veil of Summer still on the stack. I draw a card. Great. Ooh, Snap Veil. Don't mind if I do. I think I just try to shove this Canonist here, though. Oh, but then Snap Veil is off for the game. Yeah, maybe. Oh no, I can't snap. Oh, I can Snap Veil. I can't Snap Fluster. All right. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass like this. This is representing endurance, as well as a number of other things. Ah, shit. Well, it's not representing a good answer to that. Yeah, if I had played my fetch land, I get to Snap Fluster. All right, Brainstorm. Try to find a Force here. Found Dress Down and a bunch of stuff that doesn't help. I'm willing to believe I just punted this game, but okay. Let's rally. Sylvan Library back on top, Ponder on top, or should I hide the Canonist? Which of these cards is actually important? Library, Ponder, I guess. Okay, Doomsday resolves. Yeah, if I just play my fetch land there instead of my basic. Whoops. I deserve this if it happens. This is a game that I think MTG is going to easily win if I can't find Karakas, like, immediately. I mean, Daze breaks up Force Fluster anyway, because they Daze the Snap, I end up paying, and then I can't cast Fluster. But I think making them have the Daze there is obviously the correct play, or the ideal play, and I was just lining up for a world where they didn't jam Doomsday. I don't know. I don't know what just happened, but it was definitely very bad. Okay, Doomsday resolved. There's a red blast in the pile. Shelldock Isle, oh, was already in hand. Perfect. Emrakul's coming immediately. Yeah, I messed this game up. Like a boss. Okay, draw Ponder for the turn. I can play Canonist and pass with Dress Down, but Dress Down doesn't even actually do anything. I still just, like, take 15, and then I hope to draw Karakas, I guess. Alright, I mean, I still think this is the best play that I have. Then pass the turn from here. When they cast Emrakul, I Dress Down in their end step. Yep. There's a red blast in this pile somewhere that they can just cast because my Canonist will be turned off. Yeah, I fucked this up. That fetch land was just so bad. Dress down, please find me Force of Will. Ooh. So you're saying there's a chance. Was Oracle exiled in the pile? Nope, of course not. Alright, there's not a chance. I guess if they don't Red Blast me right now, there's a chance. I'm just gonna take 15, I'm gonna go to 4. I think the Canonist is worth having around. Dress down's dead, Canonist is back on. Endurance. That's a spell with balls. Okay. We may have accidentally found our way through this game. I can attack, and then cast Ponder on my turn, Endurance on their turn, and bounce Emrakul. Ponder now. I think aggro forcing this is a reasonable line out of my opponent, but I also think it will lose him the game. 4 cards in hand over there. Enforce isn't even good, except pointed at a card like Ponder, because the Canonist means that Force being defensive isn't any good. Okay, yeah. Force, pitching Daze. Caracas. Bang. Alright, we did the thing. Now we just gotta beat the Oracle, and we have Canonist that the deck can't remove to do it with. There are only 2 cards in that graveyard, though. How did that happen? Oh, if he goes for Oracle this turn... Oh, if he can just cycle and then Oracle, Endurance isn't even good enough. If he doesn't go for Oracle this turn, though, I Endurance and in for lethal. Okay, there's Oracle. Oracle resolves. Is Endurance good enough? A Cycler wins this game. Oh, wow, didn't have it. Ooh. That was stressful. My heart rate is so high up right now. Dum 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 dum. Okay. Another Hundy in the bank. 2-1. Ooh, sometimes you play bad and just get rewarded anyway. I'll take it. On the draw in the 4th round. I have a Dress Down and a Force in my opener. I'm going to keep this. Broke from his normal opening play of Blue to Delta to just play the Underground Sea straight up. And there's a bit of a pause right now. I'm wondering if that's deciding between Thoughtseize and not Thoughtseize. Okay, I'm going to let him have the Thoughtseize. Don't want to give him a 2-for-1, lose the Brainstorm. This handful of cantrips is nice because that means I get to totally change the composition of my hand, even post Thoughtseize. Right, taking Force, wants to fight against Dress Down instead. Ha! Sorry! I'm just going to land go here. I don't want to lose to Daze, if I don't have to. The other Thoughtseize. Bummer. Okay, if I Brainstorm here and end up getting dazed, that hurts. You just let him have it. Alright, go ahead. Take the Force again. It's the same hand as last turn. Make the same decision. There are only 2 of those in the deck, so once this one's out of the way, we only have to beat the counterspells. Which is still tough, but like... I would rather play against counterspells than discard backed by counterspells. I wonder if you pivot and take Brainstorm now. Because if you take Brainstorm, I can't change my hand again. And then if I want to cast my Force, I have to pitch the Dress Down. I think Brainstorm makes a lot of sense to be the take here. Unless he's got the combo next turn backed up by Daze, then you can just take Force and let me run my Dress Down into Daze. And we'll see. Took the Force again, okay. Still doesn't want to play against that one. Ooh, that doesn't matter for this game. Could be nice. I mean, obviously, phenomenal card in post-board games, but it doesn't matter here. Just a basic Plains. Dark Ritual. Doomsday. I think I want to try to make a move on this. Okay. My hand is now face up. He knows perfectly well I don't have a counterspell, or else I would have countered this. Hope he can't win right now. Doomsday resolved. We have 1 Cycler, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a Street Wraith somewhere in this pile. Force of Wills, we got 1, 2, 3. There's a Force of Will in the pile. Daze, we have 1, 2, 3. There's a Daze somewhere as well. There's a Daze, a Force, a Street Wraith, Oracle. Out of these 9 cards, yeah, I still have 4 cards in hand. This is going to be really tough to get through. So I think what I have to do here is fetch Brainstorm and then hope to find Endurance. Yeah, there's no white cards in my main deck that matter. I'm gonna get Tropical Island and then cast Brainstorm right now. Yeah, Brainstorm now. Okay, I did find Endurance and Force. Wow, that was good. Okay. How does this work? I can cast Dress Down, I can cast Force, and can I also pitch Endurance? Are there enough cards in this hand? Yeah, so would I rather pitch Library or Harvest? And I think I would rather pitch Library and then cast Harvest. Cast, pitch, and pitch. Alright. We've got a plan. Welcome to Brainstorm, folks, by the way. My medium low hand a second ago is now a nut high hand. Passing the turn. I think I want a Coatl. That's my blue card out of my hand, but I think I'm gonna need to pressure him somehow. Draw that. Caracas. I'm gonna Abundant Harvest for a spell. Hope it's blue. Alright, it's Force of Will. Dope. Well, now he knows about Force of Will, but now I'm playing around Daze with all of my interaction. I have 3 pieces of interaction, and I'm ignoring Daze. This is a pretty strong setup. Can never roll him out, though, because the deck's messed up. Instep Brainstorm, you got it. That's 2 cards in the graveyard when I Endurance. I didn't check for Thoughtseizes in the exile pile. Oh, they're both gone, okay. Street Wraith cycled, 3 cards in the graveyard for Endurance. 4 cards in the graveyard for Endurance. Thassa's Oracle is on the stack. I think I'm going to start with Force. Force, pitching Force. Because Doomsday can't, or Dress Down cantrips, so if they're going to fight over something, I'd rather have the thing that cantrips resolve. Okay, Pact resolves. Then I'm going to Dress Down, which turns off Endurance, but if this is in play, it doesn't matter. 1 card left, and the Pact's already been cast. That works. And the last 2 cards in hand, here comes Endurance. All of this playing around Daze. Ooh. Now this is pod racing. Yeah, up a game. Taking game once feels so good. Ooh. Thank you, Brainstorm. Gonna do the thing we're so familiar with at this point. Though I do wonder, Jace can bounce Emrakul, and a couple of these games have come down to like 1 turn to remove Emrakul. Like Dress Down taking away the Annihilator gives me the time to untap and do something. Is that better than Sylvan Library? I don't think that it is. It's just something that's worth considering. Yeah, I still think the cantrip and the card draw engine are both better than Jace here. Yeah, here's my deck. Well, my hand is Hot Fire. I'm gonna keep it. Guess it's not really that good without a green card. I mean, I'm never mulling this hand in my life, but this is extremely good. It's resilient to discard. Got a Brainstorm. Okay, he's just going. Alright, yeah, this is the kind of hand that can beat what I'm doing here. Gotta have some piece of interaction in hand, either Daze or Pact. Or just turboing out the Shelldock Isle. Like, it doesn't matter if I have Dress Down if you can Shelldock Isle. Finding Caracas just became a priority. Nothing wrong with just like a nut flex on the play. Go off. Literally. Looking at the exile zone here. Oracle, Shelldock, Emrakul, all in these 9 cards somewhere. Force of Will, 1, 2, 3. There's a Force of Will in there. Daze, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's not a Daze. There's 1 Red Blast, 1 Force of Will. There's Thoughtseize. Duress, Thoughtseize. There's no discard. There's at least 1 Pact. Okay. I don't think I can win this game. Veil does let me pitch cast Endurance. Though I don't think Emrakul is part of the, or I don't think Oracle is the plan here. I think we're going to see a Shelldock Isle pass the turn. think I have to brainstorm in the end step. Try to just raw dog the Caracas. Now let's find Caracas off this brainstorm right now. Not quite. I'm not going to have time to breach any halls. I'm not going to have time to do anything. Our Null Rod's definitely a rel at this point. That's the card I don't want to draw. I guess I could have dropped Abundant Harvested for a land, just seen if that paid out. Yeah, I lost this one. Alright, I should stop saying that. Okay. That casts Red Blast, which kills Dress Down. This casts Emrakul. Yeah. Don't even get the Canonist protection this time. I guess there is one chance left here. I am going to get hit for some amount. I'm going to get hit for 15. I'm going to lose all my permanents. And then... Alright, here's Dress Down. I'm going to get hit for... They're going to Red Blast this. I get hit for 15, lose all my permanents. Could draw Caracas off the top right now. There's one out left. And then I have Pitch Endurance for the Oracle. He doesn't even have to actually fight over this. Giving me a full extra turn and a full extra draw step, I think, is a mistake. Yeah, that's reasonable to do. Okay, yeah, just annihilate me. And we know there's a Force of Will and a Pact in this pile somewhere. Just rip Caracas and make a game out of this. Oh, okay, dead. Yep, crushed. Doomsday on the play. I kept a hand that was ready for a mid-game sort of situation. Wasn't ready for a turn 1. My plan doesn't change here. Just right back in. I like my hand on the play here. I'm going to keep it. Got a Force Will and cantrips and stuff to develop with. I am going to ponder on one. I'm not holding up anything else. Not representing anything else. I do like seeing this back to basics. I'm going to put that second from the top. No shuffle, pass. I haven't got him with a back to basics yet. I'm really interested in doing that at least once in this battle. Preordain, resolves. Bottom to both. Okay. Oh. We passed into the second main. Alright, I made it to my turn. I'm showing Coatl. I have Force with that can pitch Uro and also not get dazed. I'm representing Veil or Fluster. Ponder can resolve. Pass in the turn, shuffle the Ponder. Love to see it. Ooh, Lotus Petals in. I'm gonna Coatl in the end step. Attack for 1.5 damage a turn. It adds up. We've had a number of games come down to like 1 life point or 1 turn on the clock. That's pretty exciting. A lot more than I thought would happen. I could shove this Uro and develop. I think I actually like that. Uro, because I have the land to go with it. It'll replace itself. I have blue cards to pitch. Or another Uro. Literally just same board state, except now I have an extra land in play and 3 more life. Not bad. We've reached a point where duress is troublesome to me. Don't really want to get duressed because the back to basics is really important. But Force of Will is also really important. I'm gonna harvest for a non-land. Picked up a Force of Will. They know about that one now. In for 1. I could just cash out and jam my back to basics right now. I don't think that's good though. They're clearly representing Red Blast. And I currently have Force blue card with Brainstorm. Not a bad place to be. Could Brainstorm in the end step to try to push here. Does that get Uro into play? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It does. Still think Brainstorm to protect me from counter spell or discard spells is a good one. Back for 2. I think I'm gonna Snap Harvest here, or is Snap Ponder better? Yeah, I'm gonna Snap Harvest. Or I can wait and Brainstorm, then Snap Brainstorm and play at instant speed this whole game. Or I can just push my perceived advantage right now. I'm gonna go for Harvest. This also adds to my clock. As much as I'd like to play at instant speed, I do have some action here. This also baits a Force of Will on the hard cast or a Red Blast. Either one I'm pretty happy to get out of play. Ooh, if they hardcast Force of Will, I can jam back to basics with double force backup and just maybe end the game. Ooh. Alright. I'm gonna try it. Blue. I already have a green, I'll get another blue. Back to basics. 4 of his 5 lands are in play right now. Daze is pretty good because it both makes me react and resets one of these lands. Ooh. That card is in play. Alright, the 5th land is here. The gang's all here. Alright, there's one more basic island in the deck. This can't get a forest, and the plains is already in play. This is hardcast Force of Will or shuffle with Brainstorm though, whichever one I think I want. I could get a non-basic, just spew it, cast Uro, and then have, yeah, I think that's actually good. Yeah, just gonna spew off a non-basic here to get Uro into play. There he is. I was not expecting Uro to attack at any point in these 5 matches, but this is the type of game where it can happen. Alright, you're on a 2-turn clock. I have double force. You have 1 blue or black mana to operate with. These games have actually blurred together so far that I don't know if this is game 3 or game 2. I think it's game 3. I think this is the match where I got turn 1'd. Game 2. Like, I won game 1. Then got... Yeah. Okay. Ooh. It really blends together. I think this is another $100 Uro in play, though. Though I might be sadly disappointed. Okay, Brainstorm resolved, and we're passing the turn. Double Force of Will still rolled up. Oh, just scooping it. Hell yeah, that was game 3. $300 on lock. Let's get number 4. I'm on the draw in the final round. He won 4 out of 5 coin flips. That unfortunate for me. But I think I'm going to mulligan this hand. Force of Will is not going to beat Doomsday just on its own. And these Uro Prismatic Ending doesn't do anything. I'm going to ship this. This one is the same hand. It's Force of Will and then doesn't do anything. Snapcaster is better than Uro and Prismatic Ending, but I am going to mulligan again. Okay, I can keep this in bottom 2 of these white cards. Don't love this. This ended up being the same hand, and by that I mean 1 piece of interaction and no cantrips. Alright, this was rough. I don't think we're winning this game. Duress is in the sideboard, so a discard spell can't miss here. This is a great hand against Duress, but that card is not in the main deck. This is a great hand to add Brainstorm to. Just Brainstorm off the top, smooth this out, get rid of this plow. Did not shuffle the library. I drew a blue card, so if I draw any of my 6 forces, then I have 2 points of interaction. It is better than none, obviously. Or better than 1. It seems like the magic number is 3, though. Like, as preposterous as that is, Doomsday is just that good. The games where I can force stress down and endurance, or like force endurance or whatever, those are the games I'm winning. Got a Brainstorm after some deliberation. Combo versus control, when the control deck mulligans to 5, is kind of a different mind game that we haven't talked about yet in this league, because I've just been pretty good at keeping 7. Lucky me. But if I'm willing to go to 5, what am I willing to stop on? Like, how good of a hand was I looking for? Or was I really just like, no lands, keepable hand? And he's got to think about that at least a little bit. The Bant deck is just phenomenal at keeping 7 in normal blind matchups. You just have so many lands, you have so many cantrips. It's just, ooh. Brainstorm, missed your land drop, go. My opponent has 7 spells in his hand. That's what that means. It also probably means I'm getting Thoughtseize or Dark Ritual right now. Oh, Personal Tutor. Alright, the Dark Ritual is already in hand. Oh, putting Thoughtseize on top. Alright, yeah, we're taking our sweet little time. Thoughtseize is not good against this hand, though, other than telling him what I have. Okay. Ponder. Sweet, merciful relief in the form of a cantrip. Ponder up. Do Do I want the land or the Brainstorm? I think I want the land. Because has not had a land drop in several turns, unless he's been sandbagging a Lotus Petal and go Thoughtseize, Petal, Ritual, Doomsday. But if I just get Thoughtseize here, that doesn't actually change the composition of my hand that much, because I have 2 of the important card and I have a green card to go with it. And the really important card, Brainstorm, is still on top of my deck. Took one of the Endurances, that makes sense. Now Force of Will, a single Force of Will protects the combo. It did have the Petal. Here comes the Doomsday. Yep, Dark Ritual, Doomsday. This is kind of tight because the Doomsday pile is going to have to include the mana to do everything that he wants to do on top of the win condition, which is not a consideration you have to make when you've actually hit 2 or 3 land drops. Then you still have to consider it, but it's not like incredibly relevant. You just need to like, oh yeah, make sure I have 4 mana to Ideas Unbound into my Oracle. But it's gonna have to set up some sort of like either put some lands in the pile or set up some sort of Lion's Eye Diamond, Street Wraith situation, floating and then shipping. But Lion's Eye Diamond lines up really bad against Endurance because that empties your hand of possible answers to the Endurance. Here's the extra cards. Cyclers, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No cycling happening. The Lion's Eye Diamond's out. 2 Lotus Petals, or 3 Lotus Petals are out. There's a Lotus Petal in the pile. Days, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. All the dazes are accounted for. Force of Wills. 1, 2, 3. There's a Force of Will in the pile. The Pact of Negations in the pile. Oracles in the pile. Lotus Petals in the pile. So that's 4 known cards out of the 9. Right, there's the Lotus Petal. Okay, I'm drawing Brainstorm. I think this is a situation where I Brainstorm now. Yeah, I'm going to Brainstorm now because if I find Ponder or Harvest, I'm going to want to be able to do stuff. Okay, I didn't find any of those. I kept one of the Plows because I might be able to mess with the Oracle, but I'm not feeling good about this. There's probably a fetch land and a fetchable land in the pile. That'll thin the pile out faster while hitting the land drops. Passing the turn. Do I Endurance in this end step? I don't think that I do. Yeah, I can shove Jace. That's a good card. I'm gonna get an island here. I definitely don't want to draw those 2 lands I just shuffled away. Oh, interesting. Do they need this Lotus Petal? Or do I just put Jace on the stack? I can't Uro. Jace could Brainstorm into a white source and keep this going. Casting Jace turns Daze on for the... No, the Dazes are all gone, right? We could establish that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, there's no Dazes left. Yeah, I'm going to cast Jace. So ending the Lotus Petal is really interesting to me. First appearance of Jace in this matchup. It's just round 5. And I'm definitely going to Brainstorm. I don't think Fate Sealing him is where I really want to be. Yeah, I want to fix this hand, get rid of the Swords to Plowshares. That's the goal here. Finding a fetch land would be great if I can end this Lotus Petal. Okay. So put back Plow, and doesn't matter which land, I'm fetching Tundra either way. So then play this. Hit the Tundra. Exile Lotus Petal. Found a target for Prismatic Ending in the Doomsday matchup. I hope they needed that. Knowing I don't need to play around Daze is nice. Is there a Thoughtseize still on the deck? Oh, is this a game 2, or did I miss a main deck Duress this whole time? Oh, my bad. There is a main deck Duress. Okay. Good thing it didn't come up until the final round. Okay. There does appear to still be a Thoughtseize in the deck. Thoughtseize and Force of Will together in the deck. That's tough. Okay, so they Brainstormed off the land. So that wasn't just a spew off, like, get mana out of Lotus Petal while I can play. Petal's gone. I could Endurance now. That turns off Pact. I actually think I like that. Do I think the Force of Will's in the hand right now? Or do I think they're going to draw into it? They can't Pact right now. It plays around the Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm actually doing this right now. Okay, there's Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm. Alright. Should be able to win this turn, unfortunately. But it was going to win anyway. I think that gave me the best chance for the hand not to be where it needed to be right away. Yeah, I was losing that anyway. Okay. Not bad for a mull to 5. To the sideboard we go. One more time with these 9 cards. Prismatic Ending. I put you on stack. Lost the game anyway, but it was good to see you. And then I think I cast Swords to Plowshares once, but it didn't matter. Or did it matter? I forget what happened, but I did put Swords to Plowshares on the stack once this league, and Prismatic Ending also once. So, using every part of the Buffalo here. On the play, of course. Can I keep a hand like this? I think I keep this with a green source, but maybe I don't with a blue. Or without a green. Yeah, I think I have to ship this. I can keep this one. I'm gonna bottom Shark Typhoon as much as it pains me. I love it so. This is a keep, sending Shark Typhoon. Land go. I'm not gonna Brainstorm now. I'm gonna take my extra draw step, see what that'll get me. Having 2 Brainstorms means I don't have to fire it off in response to a duress either. If I only had the 1, I think I would have to take my shot to hit my next land drop, even though it's not a max value Brainstorm. But because I have 2, I could just let him take 1, or he's forced to ignore it because I have 2 real spells. Ooh. You doing this? Okay. What do I think this means? Do I want to Brainstorm in response to this? Yeah, I think I Brainstorm in response off of Tropical Island. This gives me the chance to find Force of Will or the next land and know what I need to interact on. Alright, that Caracas is gasoline. Okay. Put back these 2 cards. Wink, wink. So I have Dress Down and Endurance that can fight an Oracle line, and I have the Caracas that can fight an Emrakul line. Still has 5 cards in hand over there, but this is a turn 1, which has problems. Like, you have all your free spells, but that's all you got. I think this is going to be just a clean little Emrakul line that the Caracas has covered. Or it could be a clean little Oracle line that beats 2 pieces of interaction. We'll see. He knows I don't have a counterspell, or else Doomsday. I would have made a move on Doomsday. But Dress Down and Endurance are both cards that I could have, and they are both cards that I do have. Here are the extra cards. What are we working with? There are no Red Blasts in the pile. 1, 2, 3 dazes are accounted for. Force of Wills, we got 1, 2. So there's 2 forces and a daze still in this pile, and the Pact. The Sheldock Isle is in the bin though, or in the pile, and the Emrakul, unless he just didn't go on that plan at all this round, which seems like it would be weird. Should assess for discard spells. Duress, Duress, Duress. There's no Thoughtseizes in this pile. Could mean that he just pivoted onto Duress, or that both Thoughtseizes are in the pile. There's the Sheldock. I'm drawing Caracas off the top. I'm just gonna put Caracas into play and pass the turn. Unfortunately, because of the extra turn, I do have to play the Caracas now. I can't make him commit and then bop him with it. It's still Time Walk, though. And it taps me off of Daze protection. So there are still reasons to activate Sheldock Isle. It's like honestly pretty free to do it, actually. Just take your 1 mana Time Walk and try to win next turn with your 7 cards in hand. Thoughtseizing me. You Dress Down in response, buy a little time. Then I lose the Endurance. Alright, I am going to Dress Down in response. At least put up that Insurance Shield. Dress Down resolved. That's a redraw. There's Hull Breacher. I'm gonna have to let this resolve. It gets to take Endurance if he wants it, and Hull Breacher is probably pretty good in this situation as well. And the Brainstorm gets to just change all the information again. But Based on what we know of his pile, I think he can beat an Endurance, so maybe you just take Brainstorm here. And give me the fewest chances to beat you with something. Oh, he could actually win right now. Thoughtseize, take Endurance, land Emrakul, extra turn, I bounce Emrakul, I'm tapped out with no interaction and Dress Down dies on the end step. Yeah, that line exists. I might have thrown it away by moving in on Dress Down. Though, yeah, this is tough. Pretty sure there's a pile of counterspells in this hand. And there's an Underground Sea somewhere unaccounted for. 1 in play, 2, 3. Oh no, they are all here. Underground Sea, Volcanic Island, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, all of the mana producing lands are out. Lotus Petal, 1, 2, 3, 4. All the petals are here too. Is there a mana source? Oh, the Cavern of Souls. But Cavern can't activate Shelldock. Okay. This game is still happening, it seems. Could LED spew the hand knowing I'm empty, activate Shelldock, force me to bounce Emrakul, then I'm tapped out and you just cast Emrakul or cast Oracle and win next turn? Yeah, there's certainly lines that beat me here. With the Brainstorm, alright. I'm betting you can beat Endurance. Probably a good bet. Come on, card. Good card here. That wasn't what I wanted. I think I should just put Hull Breacher into play. Pass with Pitch Endurance available. At least turn off the cycling or card draw. That might still be important to this plan. Hull Breacher's in play. Unclear if that matters. It's at least pressure, but there's pressure anyway because the game will end in 2 turns if they just don't do anything don't do any action. But I mean, they had the look last turn. If they just go Oracle, Pact of Negation, I lose. All there is to it. Shelldock Isle, okay. Alright, taking the time walk here. Okay, there you go. You have Emrakul. We're in the bonus turn. Beginning of combat, gotta bounce it. Alright, the deck is empty. Oracle just beats Endurance now because the deck is empty. Show me the Force of Will anyway. Just tease me. Okay, whether he has an answer or not, this game is over. I am up $300, 3-2'd the thing. I was pretty sure this was going to go to a split, and I'm glad I ended up on the 3 side. Yeah, show me that Pact of Negation anyway, even though you don't need to. Good sport. Great matches against a worthy opponent. To break it down here at the very end, my sideboard plan adjusted a little bit when I realized that Jace was actually the worst card after the white cards and not Sylvan Library or Abundant Harvest, so that was a small adjustment made mid-league. And it really does take 3 things to beat Doomsday. Like, the games where I just had, like, Endurance Force, I was not winning. The games where I had Endurance Force Dress Down, I was winning. And there were some cool plays, like, I think that one Flusterstorm that hit the Force of Will and the Duress to split them up, I think that was a really cool play. I think some cool stuff happened with Dress Down where I beat a couple of Emrakuls that way. That was cool. Thassa's Oracle being a 1/3 creature came up huge in one game. We played a lot and we saw a lot of the things that could happen in this matchup back and forth. It was pretty great. And I think that's all I got to say here. And I've been at this for several hours now, 3.5 hours. I've been bashing my head against Doomsday. I'm very tired. It's a tough matchup, stressful, on the brain. And thank you all for watching. Thanks to Kai Sawatari. Go follow him on Twitch. Sawatarix is his name. Also on YouTube and Twitter and all of those places. Go check out his stuff. And while you're here, like, comment, and subscribe on this video and on this channel. If you want to support the channel even more, there's a Patreon, there's a YouTube membership option. You can hit those up. There's a merch store. All those things are there. If you're shopping for cards, if you want to go learn Bant or Doomsday and you need the cards, click on my affiliate link to take you to TCG Player, and some of that money will come back to my channel. Thank you all so much for doing this, and I will see you next time.